Hello, so today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to create a polaroid emulsion lift. Over here I have a Polaroid that I'm going to use for it, and I'm going to show you some examples really quick. So, here are two examples of what you could do with a Polaroid emulsion lift. You could do a classic on paper, so you'd want a heavyweight paper that's good to be put in the water, like watercolor paper. Or what we're going to be doing today actually is a watercolor. No, not watercolor. We're going to be lifting it onto a glass bottle today. Um, yeah, something to know is your Polaroids will dry a bit more clear than they are when you originally lift them. And also, they stretch when you do your emulsion lift. So once the water is just hot enough so you could touch it without getting burned, that's when you want to pour it into your bucket. And I'd like to say like maybe pour about 3 inches of water in, just so you have some space to work with. Okay, now I've got my bucket full of water, and that's about 2 inches of space that I left, which should be good enough to work with. So I'm gonna dry off my hands really quick. So the first step that we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our Polaroid, and we're just gonna cut the image out of it. So let's see. So you just want to cut away the white portion of it. So because I use expired film while creating these Polaroid pictures, usually they'll peel off the back and the emulsion will come off. But for older film like this one, you actually peel off the front part, and there's like a little adhesive. And I find it's very helpful to dip it into the water and get it a little wet before peeling it off, because you're less likely to damage your image if you do that. You want to be very delicate with this part of the process, because if you rip it early in the process, it makes doing the transfer more difficult later on. So it's okay to dip it into the water just to loosen everything up. Like this. So now I have the image and then the clear piece of plastic. And now what we're going to do is place the image into the water bath. So even just moving around the paper backing, you loosen it up. You don't want to force anything. You want to be gentle with the process. And then you'll see it like fold up a little bit, but don't worry about that, because you could always fix it later after it's lifted. Oh, so it's almost done. Just gonna agitate it a little more and it should come off quite soon, just like so. So now that we've got this removed, the water is still hot, so that means that the emulsion lift is going to be very malleable and a little more difficult to work with. So what we want to do to mitigate this problem is we're going to add some ice or some cold water just to cool down the tank a little bit. And we're going to try to get this water down to room temperature, just to make the emulsion lift a little more solid and easy to work with. Here, let's see. Just going to mix it around a little bit. The emulsion lift will want to curl up. It's okay if it does. You just agitate the water a little bit and then move it, and it'll unfold pretty easily. I find once you get it onto the medium itself, it helps the process out a lot. So I'm going to be doing it onto this glass. So what I want to do is fill it up a little bit with water. And then you could pick it up gently. It'll almost feel like latex, like a small latex sheet paint or something similar. And you just place it on top, like so. And I think I may have placed it upside down because I don't see an image. Okay, so it looks like I may have placed it upside down. So I'm gonna take it off gently and flip it around like so. And I'm struggling to find the image that we started with, but that's all right. It's still a part of the process. So what you want to do is just lay it out like this, stretch it out nicely over your chosen canvas. No, I definitely put it on upside down this time. I'm gonna try it one more time. So just flipping it back around to how I had it originally. And you can see it's very malleable and easy to work with, but you want to be gentle or else you're going to rip it like I just did. Which is totally okay, because it just adds to what we are making, to the novelty of it. So now that I have it close to how I want it, I'll just gently pat it down to straighten out some of these edges, like such. Done. Could reattach that piece. So now that it's done, I'm gonna set it to dry. And once it dries, it'll be a little more clear, but the image should be visible through it. There we go. And once again, once it dries, you will have your image. I'll put the white in the back, print it on like this, or like this, and once it dries, it solidifies. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. And yeah, enjoy creating your emulsion lifts.